Bienvenidos a otro capítulo más de lo que es El Valor de Sanar, The Courage to Heal. And today I am very excited because I have a very special guest with us. And his name is Dr. Harpal Singh. He's coming from India, but especially he has an amazing story that today we're going to be able to discover together. Dr. Harpal, welcome to El Valor de Sanar, The Courage to Heal. How are you doing today?
Yeah, thanks, Atala. I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited. Let's see, and if we can help our society, our friends and family through this podcast. So I'm looking forward to it.
Beautiful. I would like to just discover a little bit about who is Dr. Harpal.
Yeah, so I'm basically a trained physician from India, and currently I'm Vice President Medical Affairs for Vastek USA. My previous role, I was Medical Director for Morphic Medical USA. It is a company based in Boston. And before that, I was heading 300 plus clinics and 22 hospitals for the largest healthcare group of India called Apollo Group of Hospitals. So I was there. And before that, I had also worked for 3 Fortune 500 companies, which are Abbott, AstraZeneca, and Thermo Fisher Scientific.
I have a question for you because you have an amazing story, an amazing background. You have been traveling the world as well, and you have been serving so many, many people. What really motivates you to become a doctor?
Yeah, so actually my dad is my major inspiration for that. My mom stood as hard as a rock, like behind me, but then dad was one who used to push me. So he wanted me to be a doctor. Actually, he wanted both his sons to be doctor and to practice in US. So that's how we are here, and I'm in US as well.
Beautiful, but let me just go a little bit deeper. What situation, what a condition, somebody that maybe was at home, maybe in your family, that you feel that this inspired me. I want to help people because of this. Sometimes, our pains becomes our biggest purpose in life. Did that happen to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the profession started, and my dad's inspiration started due to his cousin, who is also a top cardiologist of the world. His name is Dr. Atala Tovar. He's still alive and is a cardiologist. His daughter is on all over in the news, and she's Tara Narula. She's a journalist. She's also a cardiologist, and she's a journalist. She was earlier in CNN, and now she's with ABC. She's my cousin. So he saw them. But I think with due course of time, my dad went through a lot of changes and medical issues, which also prompted me further to help society in a bigger way. And
that's what I wanted to get.
Yeah.
Exactly. You are just talking my language right now. So tell me a little bit more about that story, please.
So we were in small town from a state up north in India. That town even doesn't have a lot of facilities. So you won't believe. So my dad went into naturopathy, and doctors asked him to get dialysis, and there was no dialysis machine in the city. So we moved to the state of the Himachal Pradesh, and that was my medical school as well. They had 2, beds for dialysis, and both were unfunctional.
Wow.
So, and from there, overnight we went to another city, which is a big city and capital of 2 states. The city name is Chandigarh, and it's the capital of Punjab and Haryana. And there we got his, they said, we need to make a fistula on his arm or thigh, and then, he has to have repeated dialysis. One of my aunt was in capital of India, New Delhi. So we thought it's a better idea to take him there because my final exams were there, and it takes 6 months to prepare for exams for medical profession. And we were my brother was younger, he was still studying, and my mom was homemaker. We had a crash crunch and a lot of things, and so we took him to Delhi. Mm-hmm. And we took him to the biggest tertiary care hospital of India. It's called AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. And you will be, again, it's a coincident, I worked in the same hospital also after a few years.
How many years after?
So he passed away in 2000 and we came, so 2003, I worked after 3 years.
Wow. So you could say that maybe that situation really can inspire you to also to become a physician and just really kind of, I don't think it's just a work, it's a passion, it's a call, it's a purpose.
I think that is there, and for that I would love to help the society in a bigger way. So, but then there was some inborn seed in me to become, I was very ambitious as a child. I don't know, that dreams, that was inborn, that was natural, God gift, I can say. So I still have that seed which is still germinating. I'm trying to file my soil and land. If God gives me a chance, I will change the orbit, and I will love to, serve more people. And so money plays an important role as well. So money as well as, empathy, and, you have to combination of the both. So I give you one example.
You're talking about something important, Dr. Harpal, empathy, because I think in the medical care, empathy is fundamental. It's non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. With empathy, you break the bridge between two people. One that is coming from fear, the patient, in this case, the family, and the other, the physician. When the empathy comes naturally, there is no fear. The fear starts to diminish. So the person is able to trust the physician even more. Mm. So from there is more relaxation, and also the trust become that connection that takes away fear. So I think empathy is crucial. You're talking about a very important value that sometimes in the medical care has been missing. The other one can be compassion as well. But I want you to go deep a little bit. That empathy, how do you see that in the medical field right now, in the healthcare industry, empathy has been missing?
Yeah, this is a very important question, and the word itself is very powerful. And empathy can change the life course of patients and people in general. So let me give you one example, and then I'll come to your question. So I had, after 17 years after passing my medical school, I started a clinic, and I was doing very well to start as a start, but I was not making enough money because I was already had a child by then, and to I have to take care of family as well. While I was working, I got an opportunity to work with British government in India as a senior trade advisor for Department of International Trade. And that was a great opportunity, and I chose that. But I'm telling you a story. Why? Because I told my patients I'm closing the clinic. And there were few patients, they somehow got my residential address. Mm-hmm. And you won't believe, at 8 p.m. at night, two brothers, due to empathy, they were standing outside my house and they're saying, "Doctor, we are here. We just want to see you."
That's beautiful.
Because the thing is, I could see that we in India pay from out of pocket. Mm-hmm. So they were on very costly medications. So I got the same combination with a smaller company. For me, that patient was more important rather than, that medications, because pharma companies, though there might be some difference, but I have to see my patient. He's my first priority. So,
but not all the doctors think in that way. Unfortunately, I spent 16 years in the medical field, and I can tell you that empathy is one of the most important ingredients, fundamental values that sometimes healthcare industries are having missing. And I saw many times how empathy is the connection with that patient. You care, you went beyond, you try to help him with the medication, and of course they will be always grateful for that. So I think that we're missing something here, honestly speaking. I don't see in you, I see your soul that you put into what you're doing to make a huge difference in life, especially when we're talking about patients, families, people who are very vulnerable, people who are going through fear, to the unknown, and it's just attacking in that moment all his life, or their lives, and their nervous system, right? But when a physician is able to understand that human, that person, with different eyes, more like a human connection, it changes everything.
Absolutely. You're perfectly. I second you. So even if your doctor is so patiently, empathetically listening to a patient, even the listening is the most important means of communication.
True.
And even sometimes, all type A personality like me also, those want very ambitious and want to do more, but they're not very good listeners at times. So I think that's one important message. So and I think most of the doctors now they try to achieve that goal. Somehow they couldn't. They are more. They have to be mentally more stronger to listen to them, to their patients. If you listen to them properly, I think that's what it's said in the layman language. Half of your disease is gone.
Let me tell you something. You're talking about very important topic here, because maybe if you are a patient, if you have a family, that is going through an illness, you may be going through this situation. The fear is real. You are facing an illness because you don't know exactly the outcome. You don't know exactly the treatment. Sometimes there is confusion. Sometimes there is a lot of frustration, anger, and all these emotions are attacking the nervous system, correct? But when a physician is able to connect at a human level, changes the whole thing. Even sometimes the reaction toward the treatment. I saw that, Dr. Harpal. Many times when the physician was able to be there present, I'm talking about being present.
Mm-hmm.
Listening, you say, that's the number one, which is so true. That comes with empathy, that comes with compassion, that comes with that true connection, human connection. I saw how the fear of people decreases. And is able to connect and to ask questions. And from there, the trust comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And then the treatment is even better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unbelievable because one simple thing can change the whole situation of the patient and the family.
Absolutely. I will come to diabetes also, but then I think mental disorder. So it's very important in depression, in, other mental diseases. If you have to listen and you be very empathetic, a lot of things will be solved. Communication is the key over here. Even in diabetes, so doctor has to check and listen to the patient, what he or she is eating, what is her professional life, like what there is a corporate life, or they're IT engineers sitting all the time on the laptop. So we should know in deep inside, be empathetic, and we know that they have to work, right? And how to change the medication, how to change the diet, give suggestions and ideas around it, considering each and every individual. So it can be like, like currently for oncology, for cancer. So there are a lot of companies and they're specializing in, specialized treatment for each and every person. They're individualizing the treatments.
Yes.
Similarly, I think diabetes also, but then sometimes being a doctor, I understand it's doctor also has, desire and they want to earn money. They're placed up in the society, so they need to maintain that lifestyle. So I think sometimes there's becomes some little imbalance, but if they still continue with empathy, I think money will start coming. Money is is a byproduct, so it will be there, it will come somehow. But I think you're right, we should always be empathetic towards patients and even towards our fellow human beings.
It's true.
Yeah.
So true.
Even if
you're talking about something that I wish everybody could listen, because I think really is missing that human connection, that empathy that we're talking. You even mentioned to your colleagues.
Yeah.
I saw many times that the colleagues, they were so drained emotionally that they could not even communicate.
Right.
They couldn't even find solutions or really put the patient in first place. So I think this is like just like a wake-up call, to people to come back to the basis. People are working in the medical field, in healthcare. We have a mission. People come first.
Right.
Patients come first. Their needs are important, because you mentioned something important, Dr. Harpal. If you are able to listen and to understand more about their needs, you can help more. You can serve better, not less. Even your work will be easier.
Absolutely. And another thing which, since you were talking about listening and communicating, I think stress these days also take a big toll. And stress is a big contributor for diabetes as well. It's a major lifestyle disease contributor. Stress for diabetes and hypertension, all this dyslipidemia, stress is major thing, right? And stress, I think if you have good friends and someone to hear you out, there will be relationship problems, there will be so much of stress at personal life, professional life, day-to-day stress, and you can be having your own thoughts in mind, and things are not working according to you. But if you speak out to someone, you're a bit relieved, and stress gets out. So that's also another thing. We'll talk about how to control, prevent diabetes and manage as well.
I would love to have you for more episodes, because it's so nice to just listening to you, to see how you see the care, how do you see a patient, how do you see even a colleague. So that's a beautiful perspective that I'm sure that open doors wherever you go.
Yeah, I can't see patients over here in US because I'm yet to achieve my board certification. I can achieve it. I have to write exams, but let's see if I do it or not. But then never say never. But I can always counsel, so I can.
That's right.
People can talk to me, and we can discuss that later sometimes.
I would love to, and I would like to know about what are those signs that I would love from you to share with people, right? About sometimes people ignore symptoms, ignore signs, and maybe they are so clear, but we are afraid about even go to the doctor because we don't want to see that maybe something is wrong with our health, right?
Yeah.
So what could you say to those people that maybe right now they know that maybe the blood sugar is kind of high, they're maybe drinking a lot of soda, that maybe they are craving for sugar, but also they have not been able to really kind of listen to their bodies. So what would you say to them?
What are signs? Yeah. So if you have a family history of diabetes, you should be cautious. So that's number one. So number two comes if you're overweight. Your BMI is more. So that's another sign and symptom, you can say, to look after for lifestyle diseases. And if, your both things are, if you have family history and you're overweight, but your test comes normal, but still you have to, look out other symptoms now. So other symptoms can be frequent urination. So if you are urinating time and again, that's one sign, right? If there is, a blurring of vision, you are not able to see properly, like there's a blurring of vision. And if there is itch around your axilla or folds, if you're sweating and there's fungal infections are frequent, so that gives another sign and symptom for diabetes. So these are the major ones you can say to start with. But I think the first step is, to get yourself tested every 6 months. So test, fasting blood sugar or random blood sugar. These are the two tests. And the third one is HbA1c, which is it's a accumulation of the blood sugar values for over the 3 months. So it can be done in all the labs. I don't recommend that you should go it without your doctor. I think every individual in this country, especially in US, has more or less one physician. So you should check with your physician, get it checked. If you have a family history, I think they're all aware, all our doctors are very smart, so they will be guiding you towards it. But if you're you have to keep an eye if you are overweight and you have a family history, and if you have any of the sign symptom, frequent urination, some infections which are coming time and again, and also your weight is increasing or even decreasing. So if it is decreasing, or you're feeling very hungry all the time, so that's also another sign and symptom for diabetes. Yeah.
Very
thirsty.
Good.
Sorry, one more point I left. But if you're getting urination, I mentioned, but I didn't mention about the thirst part. If you're getting thirsty time and again, that can be a small sign, right?
Wonderful. So please listen to your body, listen to these signs that Dr. Harpal is sharing with you, and do not hesitate to go with the doctor, because sometimes we ignore, what is already there, and we can always prevent it, right?
Yeah. Right. So prevention, yeah, of course. And if you have to test 6 monthly,
Every 6 months?
every 6 months, or if these symptoms start coming up, you have to get tested. And especially for those who have, family history and overweight. And if your food habits, now coming to the food, that's very important pillar of this management or prevention as well. So I think, the sugar intake should be zero, almost. So you should have natural sugar, which is from the fruits and vegetables. I think that's the best. So if you can, you're irresistible, right? I'm a foodie myself, and I have a family history of diabetes as well. So, but then if it is irresistible, then a small portion of everything, and like dates are there. There are some natural, sugar. Even if you feel you want a carbohydrate thing, but have a small quantity. Portion control is very important. So that you have to underline portion control.
That's the thing, because I think all this started also in the mind. When we think about it, sometimes the mind is controlling many things, and it's not controlling many habits either, because I have seen many cases, where maybe they know that they are at the risk, or they are pre-diabetic, but at the same time, that craving is even higher. So the habit to go ahead and just drink, Coca-Cola is on the spot. If we are not aware, because here we need to create consciousness. Health is very important. Without our health, we don't do anything.
Right.
We can have big dreams, but if we don't have that persistent, that habit, that self-awareness, we cannot do anything in life. I believe so.
Yeah. So I think some people have a kick having a tea, or I'm not talking of the liquor part, alcohol, but tea, coffee, and cola. So coming to cola, so there was a saint in India. He was fond of, and he used to have everyday Diet Coke. And a Diet Coke came during that year. I'm talking of 50 years back, 40, 50 years back. So now my thing is a lot of all these bigger departmental stores, they have smaller cans as well. They're a bit costly, but then if you have to keep your health a priority, have the smaller one, have a half of it and then trash it. That will satisfy your soul, and you will get that feeling of satisfaction. I had my cola, but then you can throw it, and it will not hamper your health as well. Yes. So that's the key.
Changing habits, sometimes it's still to go ahead and I see many times, Dr. Harpal, medical field. In the morning, big Coca-Cola, big one, You're going to have a lot of energy for sure, but then you're going to crash, right? Those kind of, habits that we are not aware. We are not aware because we're so used.
Right. And actually, habits won't change immediately. If you ask immediately, it can happen. I'm not saying there are exceptions, but mostly it can be done gradually. That's the best way to do it. So reduce your quantity, right? Slowly and gradually. And then maybe one day you will say, I don't want cola. I don't want this. I don't want sugar. I don't want, alcohol. I don't want carbohydrates. I don't want fried things. I'm done with this. So
can I tell you something that I have learned? We always want energy, right? Because without energy, we don't do things either. But I believe that energy comes from the inside, not only for the coffee, not only for the soda. It comes from those values, The more in alignment that a human being is, the more in harmony, that's going to give energy in an amazing way. When you care for people, that's brings you energy back to you.
Absolutely.
When you give the best to people, that's also that connection, that compassion, that brings you back energy. So I think that we are using this terminology that we can use in every single area of our lives, because it's not just the diabetes. It's also that every day we need to pause a little bit and see how I am practically ready for the day, That energy level can come from many other resources too, not just for food. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're talking more philosophical, but then that makes sense. Absolutely. If you're kept in your mind, like the marathon runners, they complete 42 kilometers. So that's there in their mind. Sometimes your body gives up, but they know that we have to complete, that we have to cross the finish line, and they do it. Exactly. It's all mental strength. It's about your goal. You're right. Immediately, if I can something of my daughter, or maybe my goal that I have to achieve it. I'm here and I have to achieve it. And that's a fuel in itself. You're right.
What I'm telling you this because I saw in the medical field many times, with patients, with the families, with the doctors also, when we were able to create harmony, when we were able to help each other, to listen to one another, to show compassion, empathy, kindness, it was amazing, the energy level. When you show love, love becomes energy for
Right.
you and for anybody else as well.
Right, absolutely. I think these are powerful words: love, empathy, compassion. These are very, very powerful words, and they help in health science as well. So, I think there should be empathy, there should be compassion, there should be love. Even all the tendons of the patient, it can increase. And I've seen people, recovering from their terminal stage cancers, and
Definitely.
and even CKD, like people there. I give you example of when I was in my medical school, I used to have a bike, motorbike, and my mechanic, his mom used to watch on from the top, and I used to ask her, mom is not going anywhere or not she's doing. She said she's a CKD patient. For 30 years, she was suffering from chronic kidney disease. Doctors recommended dialysis for her, and she was not taking even dialysis, but she was alive for 30 years after CKD. It was a passion and love for her son. She used to watch her son. Son had a mechanic shop just below the house, and she was just making food for him. And, I don't know who else was in the family. I don't know the other family history. I just know about this son and his mother. So this was a lovely combination they had, and she was, going through a chronic disease and surviving for 30 years. They didn't have money for paying.
That's super important what you're saying, because it is true. When a patient receives love, love becomes energy for that patient. Mm-hmm. Even though in very critical moments, when you are also embracing gratitude is another important value that we forget about it. When we're going through illness or we're taking care of a loved one, the last thing that we're is being grateful. But maybe we need to change the perspective about being grateful for being able to help that person, mm-hmm. be able to care for one another, right? Or for that specific loved one. Because that is really a concept that sometimes we have been ignoring more when we are going through an illness or, again, taking care of a loved one. But it's truly transformative.
Right.
It changes the environment, the energy, the immune system as well.
Right. So, yeah, absolutely. That's immune system is very important. Love is important, So coming from diet, now we jump to exercise. So another, spoken about compassion, empathy, and love. So diet is important. Now I would like to emphasize on the exercise part. So which is very important even in prevention. And if you have diabetes, so at 35 to 45 minutes of walk, they say 10,000 steps, but that's equivalent. So because walking, it should be
every day.
Sorry?
Every day?
Every day. You can split it in two parts, morning and evening. And then I think you have to do purposefully, you have to walk. Even if you're taking a phone out and you're talking or listening to music, but you should know that your body should know that you're walking. Your brain should know. So, and it cools you down, stress-free, so many hormones functioning together. It gives you a cool, and it helps you a lot. And I think a lot of people over here, they go to gym every day. But if you're already having your levels are very high, higher excessive exercise is not recommended.
So one thing there, because I know some very dear friends of mine who are in that situation. Mm-hmm. Already like a 120, that's the level of glucose. Mm-hmm. Exercising every day, but also they have a lot of level of stress. Mm-hmm. So can we address a little bit more? You say that the working out is not going to help you in that aspect, because you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well, you have a lot of stress factors maybe. That's also affecting you, right?
Right. But I think whatever, if you can, jogging, running, I'm not going for that. You can do that. But then you have to, so hypoglycemia, I will mention that sometimes later. But when your sugar levels are very high, those who are highly diabetic and taking insulin, the hypoglycemia also effects, and of hypoglycemia can be more severe than high sugar levels because it lands you in hospital. You can be hospitalized. You have, you start shivering, you start precipitating, like you are, you lose your mind. There's a haziness on both mind as well as an eye. You can't have blurring of vision for a short spell, and so hypoglycemia is the other part. But I'm saying walking is very important, and that should be purposeful walking. And during that, you can do meditation as well, while it's called mindful walking. So where you can, if you are, I'm not talking of any religion, but it should be more spiritual. You can you have to watch your breath. So breathing exercises are good. So while walking, you have to concentrate on your breath. You're okay. I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. So you have, that will take away your worries as well. So, and that will give a soothing effect to your body and mind and soul. So the walking, is very important, and walk and even light exercises. So that's for prevention. And also, if you're already diabetic, I think that's important. I have many friends who are type 1, had diabetes, and there are few of them are marathon runners also. Wow. So one of the friends, she's a doctor herself, and she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, so since she was child, and her father, who's a doctor, he saw the signs and symptoms, and he asked her for tests, and now she runs marathons as well. So, but then, so I think we should not give up and stay positive. So diet, we spoke about love, empathy, compassion,
exercise, diet, and nutrition as well, right?
Yeah, so nutrition is very important. So all the plate should be full of colorful items. So there should be green, there should be carrot, orange, there should be tomatoes, so red. So there should be more colorful and more organic items, or sometimes organic is also a buzzword. We have to see that it should be good. They are also coming from a good source. That's it. And avoid, I think, fried foods, and more of fat is also important. So there's a tricky, sometimes they change the pyramid.
Okay.
So good fat is important. So walnuts have omega-3. So that's important. So in Ayurveda, which is another field of medicine, started from India, ancestral, they say 1 teaspoonful of desi ghee, which is a kind of butter, is important every day, and it's a granuled butter, which is very important. They say everyone should have it. So it has vitamin D, it has omega. So they put a lot of other, they fortify it. So I think that's important. But then red meat has to be avoided. Avoid in the sense, if you're having an urge to have it, have a small portion. Beef and they're very highly, but chicken is good for proteins. Who are non-vegetarian, fish is very good. But those which are rich in fat and excess fat, I think that should be taken care of. And you should drink less. We should now drinking and smoking. Smoking is again a big no. I think it can add up to, if you're diabetic, it can add to cardiovascular diseases. So and then more problems, stroke and other things will happen, and lung cancer and all that. Even now coming to drinks should be avoided if you can. If you can't, because it sometimes you feel it good. Otherwise, it's a depressant. Alcohol is a depressant, so it depresses sugar level. I'm talking of depressant as a sugar. So your sugar levels go down once you drink, but it rises up again or have as a peak. So if you want to drink, I think it should be in moderation and very less, and you should choose your days. I think that's the way forward. So we spoke about so many things now.
I love it, because I think this is going to be a very rich program. Thank you so much, because you have been sharing so many not just information, I think wisdom. I think also wisdom and values that are important,
So 3 more things I would like to emphasize.
Of course, please.
If you allow me. So one is like music is a big, listen to instrumental music if you're not fond of music. I think it soothes you a lot. There were a lot of researches in our tertiary care hospital, and that was done by a physiology lecturer. There must be many across the globe. I to check that in US as well. So they found that people who were having stroke were benefited from music. So music is one thing. Yeah, then you should have hobbies. So different hobbies, very productive hobbies like gardening, like making art, craft, which can, which keeps you cool, which you enjoy that, you become happy. And that's the, very important to have the hobbies. And why mentioning that? It helps your body in general. It's again a sign, it's a wisdom you can say. And you have to be happy. I was sitting with one of the top diabetologists of West Delhi in India. And he was having n number of patients. India is a populous country; it's number 1 in population. So he had a lot of patients. He was super busy and making a lot of money, and he was all the time busy. But he was senior guy. His son is an endocrinologist in US, and I was sitting and getting wisdom and intellect from him, and on his prescription of his patients, he used to make a smiley. So I learned from him, and he said, smile is very important because no patient in the world comes smiling to the hospital or clinic.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
And I'm listening to you reminds me when I was in the hospital, because I was able to create many techniques like that. I brought the art therapy, music therapy. I used to create a visualization boards or vision boards for patients. I used to ask them for photos. I used to ask them, what is your favorite music? When the patient was sick for 5-6 months, you have to be very creative about how you come to visit a patient. You cannot say, how are you feeling? You know that the person is not feeling well. Mm-hmm. But when you're able to connect with beautiful moments, oh my goodness, they used to speak like poets. They used to share their life stories. Mm-hmm. And when you're able to bring a patient or any person to beautiful moments just like that, the smile comes back. The nervous system relax.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
That's very important. And now jumping to another important factor, which is sleep. So sleep should be at particular time. When you sleep, like 10 p.m. or whatever time you choose, and you should get up at whatever time you want. So sleep should be very nice. You should have a cozy bed where you want to. It should be dark. You should have a good sleep so that you are refreshed again. Your body, repairs on its own. So that's very important. So sleep is another, I would like to mention here. Mm-hmm. It's required for both prevention and management for diabetes, and it lowers your stress levels and makes you prepare for the next day. So sleep is very important. So both for those who want to prevent the diabetes or those who are already having diabetes want to manage it well, I think sleep is another important point. And I will mention one last if you have. Mm-hmm. So last is, if you're already suffering from diabetes, the compliance to the medication is very important. So and then testing. So that's patient. If you're preventing it, so diagnosis is important. So you have to check time and again. Mm-hmm. And if your sugar levels, you mentioned 120 of a patient, it doesn't
300 sometimes.
So 300 mm-hmm. For random, right? Then if it is 2 or 3 times it's coming up, you have to see a doctor. So go and see a doctor, get your medication provided. Their metformin is the basic drug, which is like, I can't prescribe it away, but then should I mention it? I think I can mention it. They're biconides, so which is a basic drug. They're very, very safe. And so there are plenty of drugs now coming in. I relaunched, there's a drug called dapagliflozin. I don't want to, use the scientific terms, but I tell you, the newer drugs, they are so good. They all not only manages your diabetes, they also take care of your heart and kidneys. And there are newer molecules coming in I don't want to mention, but your physician can tell you they are also taking care of your weight loss. So but then I think it's better advisable to go through your physician route. Don't take medication on your own. That is not recommended at all. Since I'm legally not allowed to practice over here, I will also not mention those drugs. You have to consult your physician for that. But if you want to consult me as a counseling or you want some advice, you can definitely reach out.
I wanted to ask you where people can reach you in case that they want some advice for you. You have all the experience. I mean, that's for sure. You have been traveled the world. You have been able to also be in charge of more than 300 clinics in India. So the experience is there, hands down. So where people can reach you? Yeah,
so I think I'm on LinkedIn. It's Dr. Harpal Singh Malhotra. And we can share over when we finish this podcast, we can send it as a message also over there. And then you can reach out to me on my Instagram. I'm on all social media, Twitter, Facebook as well. But I prefer that you can reach out to me through LinkedIn or through Instagram. Instagram, my ID is Harry S. Malhotra. So we will put it over. You can put it on the,
No problem, brother.
Yeah. So
Dr. Harpal, has been a pleasure to have you here in El Coraje de Sanar, sí, the courage to heal. It has been a pleasure to have you here in El Valor de Sanar, the courage to heal. Dr. Harpal, just your last words for today. What could be? So
let's focus on diabetes as of now. And though I have been teaching allergy as well, I launched a department of immunodiagnostics for Thermo Fisher Scientific in South Asia, starting from India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Thailand. And I worked in nutrition space for Abbott. I worked for insurance industry, TPA. I worked for a molecule called amphotericin B, antifungal for chronic patients and intensive ICUs and the cancer patients. But I will focus on diabetes. So I will say that, it's nothing to worry about it. It can lead, diabetes itself is not a, very big, problem. So, but if you don't manage it, or if you don't, you can prevent it. So it is very much in our hands. So that's what final message I can give to people is take care of your health. So for that, your diet should be improved. I will also promise myself, and through this podcast, I'll try to improve my diet. I'm a foodie. So that's number one. Second is exercise. I think walking every day 35 to 45 minutes or light exercises. Swimming, if you can do swimming, that's also wonderful. And skipping, a lot of exercise. If you have and hobby. So hobby, I'm sorry, I didn't mention about it. So hobby can be a sport also. So if you play weekend, you play pickleball, or that's good. Go for it. You can spend times and have good friends and family. That's a big sport. Then comes music. Then comes your sleep. Sleep is very important. And if you have diabetes, it is uncontrollable by all these. Still, you should go for good diet and exercise and music and good sleep. Still, you have to take care of that. But then you should have a compliance towards your medication, oral drugs or insulin, whatever you are taking, or GLP-1 inhibitors. So whatever medication has been, and see your doctor and lab, every now and then, whenever you feel there are signs, symptoms, or every 6 months you can go. Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Harpal. It has been a pleasure to have you here. And I'm going to be looking forward to also continue this amazing conversation, because I know you have so much to offer to people, and especially with that empathy that you're mentioning with our human connection as well.
Sure. I look forward to it, and it was my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for organizing this, and I am thankful to all the organizers who are behind the scenes as well. Everyone, thank you. I would like to thank Almighty and my parents, my family, my wife, my mother, my daughter, and my father who's up in heaven, my family, friends, my teachers, mentors, everyone, peers and seniors. Thank you so much for all the love you have given to me. Look forward to work on it and take things to next level. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Harpal.